I shouldn't be telling you this, not because it's forbidden, but because once you know, you'll never stand in silence again without wondering who's standing next to you. They say Salem is peaceful now, a tourist town, cozy cafes, smiling faces. But if you stay after dark, when the fog slides in from the harbor and the lights start to hum, you'll feel it too. The air thickens, the sound of the past presses close, because here, the dead never learned how to rest. Most people think the trials ended in 1692. They didn't. They just changed form. I was the kind of person who didn't believe in anything I couldn't touch. But that changed the night I walked up Gallows Hill alone. Locals warn you not to, but no one ever says why. Maybe because the ones who do never talk about what they saw. Maybe because the soil itself remembers. The earth there feels wrong, softer, as if it's been dug up too many times. Every gust of wind sounds like breath against your ear. I thought it was my imagination until I heard children laughing. Not the joyful kind, the laughter of kids who think they're still hiding in the dark, playing a game they don't know they lost centuries ago. I turned to leave, but the laughter followed, circling me. My phone flickered, the flashlight dimmed, and for a moment, I saw her. A small girl in a torn shift, hair matted with dirt, eyes black as rain-soaked glass. She mouthed something I couldn't hear. Then she was gone. Would you have run, or stayed to hear what she wanted to say? Back in town, I tried to convince myself it was a trick of the fog. But that night, I found scratch marks on my door, 3 lines, perfectly parallel, pressed deep into the wood. No animal could have done it. The police said vandals. I knew better. I started researching, tracing every execution, every forgotten name. Most people remember the famous ones. Tituba, Sarah Good, Rebecca Nurse. But there were children too, accused of consorting with the devil simply because they laughed at the wrong moment or cried when they shouldn't. And the judges, they were supposed to deliver justice, but something else was whispering to them. Reverend Hathorne wrote in his diary that he dreamed of a noose swinging without wind. His wife said he'd wake up with dirt under his fingernails. Weeks before his death, he ordered his servants to seal the cellar. Voices, he wrote, under the floorboards. It's still sealed today, or so they say. But if you walk past his old house, listen carefully. The boards creak from underneath, not above. Every 90 seconds or so, the quiet breaks. A whisper, a cough, a rope tightening. It's like the whole town exhales at once, then pretends it didn't. People call it hysteria, mass delusion. But what if the hysteria never left? What if it just learned to hide in our language? Accusation, rumor, guilt. Every time you scroll through a feed and watch strangers destroy each other's lives with words, that's Salem 1692, reborn. Because the trials weren't about witches, they were about fear, and fear doesn't die. It adapts. I met a historian once who'd been cataloging artifacts from the old jail. She showed me a child's shoe, blackened on one side, and said it had been found embedded in the wall. She laughed when I asked if it was a charm. They used to trap spirits inside objects, she said, but sometimes the objects don't hold. That night, she called me, crying. Said her recording equipment had picked up voices, children praying, then coughing, then silence. I never heard from her again. Maybe you think I'm exaggerating. Maybe you think this is just another ghost story. But tell me, why do the old noose shadows still appear on the courthouse wall at dawn, even though the beam's been gone for 300 years? Why do the tour guides refuse to take the same route twice? And why every October do people vanish for exactly one night and return unable to speak above a whisper? There's a rumor, no, more like a warning, that the condemned were promised freedom if they confessed. So they confessed to anything, everything, and when they died, they took the truth with them. But sometimes, late at night, when the fog rolls thick and the bell tower moans, you can hear them still confessing, over and over, voices overlapping like static, desperate to finish what they started. You can follow those voices if you're brave enough. Down past the harbor, where the lamplight doesn't reach. Down the narrow cobblestone lanes that twist like veins through the heart of Salem. There's a cellar there, beneath a tavern that never officially existed. Locals call it the 13th room. Inside, the air tastes like iron. The floorboards swell with damp, and carved into the beams are names, dozens of them, etched by trembling hands. If you touch them, you'll feel warmth, as if the wood itself still remembers their pulse. I made the mistake of saying one of those names out loud. The room went still. My breath turned to frost, and in the silence that followed, a whisper brushed my ear. "It's not over." When I stumbled out, the street was empty. No sound, no people, no light. Just the echo of footsteps that didn't match mine. Since that night, every mirror shows me standing a step behind myself. Every recording captures voices that aren't there. And every time I try to sleep, I dream of the girl again. Eyes black, mouth moving, always saying the same thing. "Tell them we're still here." So I'm telling you. Because maybe the curse isn't that they died innocent. It's that they were never allowed to stop confessing. Next time you visit Salem, don't look for ghosts, listen for guilt. It lingers in the soil, in the air, in the names we still whisper when no one's listening. And if you ever feel something cold trace your neck while you're alone, don't scream. Just ask what they want, because the trials never ended. They're waiting for someone new to judge. If you made it this far, tell me in the comments what you think really happened that night. And whatever you do, don't watch this alone again. Subscribe if you want to know what they found buried beneath the old gallows.